I'm live. I'm live. Whew, must be a quiet day. Not very much response out there in the great beyond. So, so much to talk about. Now, just turn it off. Just put on, turn it off. It's about how I feel today. It's a little bit crabby. It's crabby outside, crappy outside today. And feeling very tired today. And yeah, it's just one of those days. I think after this full moon, good morning, Dana. After this full moon, I am just exhausted. It has been an exhausting full moon. The energies I know had taken a lot of people out. A lot of people didn't even want to go and commune. That's a good word. Commune with other people. Um, or connect with other people. You're still in your jammies. Man, I've been out. Good morning, Kathy. I've been out and about all morning. Like, I mean, all the way to the Northeast, dropped stuff off for my sister-in-law, came all the way back down, dropped stuff off for my son. It's yeah. So I've been to one end of the town to the other end of the town. I think that's probably why I'm tired too. It's just one of those, you know, cray kind of days. Oh, I did do my blog early this morning and wrote that out and got inspired. So my blog went out this morning talking about some of the energies and stuff coming in this week. And the tarot card for the week is definitely the 4 of Cups. And the reason the 4 of Cups is one I think it's my favorite card. Because it always comes up. Um, get the hair out of my mouth. The 4 of Cups. It is that, of in traditional tarot, you see the person sitting underneath the tree and their hands are folded and they're sitting underneath, they're looking at 3 cups. But in is coming the 4th cup, and the 4th cup is, coming from the clouds. It looks like a hand of God is coming through, right? And so the hand of God is coming through to give you something, but you don't want to pay attention to the blessings that that are coming through the cloud. It's like you're so focused on the 3 that are there, and you don't want to see anything else that's coming forth for you, and or wanting to be open to what else is coming in for you. And I feel like, with all everything that's been released this week, and because the moon has finally left Virgo, so it's like we've had the full moon all weekend, and then it's now in Libra, gives us a little bit of relief. The North Node is off of Chiron. That gives us a little bit of relief, but although they will be kind of together for the next 9 months. So there's some relief that is there, but I feel um it's a slow roll. Like it's just slow motion, with how we're moving through our day or through the cosmos of our day and feeling the mind. So it is I'm going to say where Mercury is, and as it's getting close to the sun, it's called a Gazini. And a Gazini is when the sun and Mercury, um you can't see Mercury anymore because it's like it gets engulfed by the sun. And it's one of the hardest transits in astrology because, because one, it's in Mercury. And it's in Mercury. Mercury's in Pisces. When Mercury's in Pisces, it's it doesn't like to be there. Put it that way. It can't get its message out clearly because it's in water. So it's trying to get things out. It is moving very quickly. So it's like a motorboat and a lot of noise going on, and then coming up to the sun, and the sun is going to engulf it. Along with that is that you have Saturn. And that just sort of adds a little bit of edge to everything. But yet Saturn isn't ruling. Saturn doesn't have the say. I mean, and for the last, oh, 7 years, Saturn has had a say in things. And now he really doesn't have a say. It's Neptune. And Neptune having a say is like he is he can be beautiful and transformational and spiritual, and it can be engulfing in such beautiful insights and intuition to um mental disorders and and discord to going off onto drugs and alcohol because he's a drug lord, and so it's the other side there too. He deals with everything that has to do with liquid water. So right now it's like, if you and it's the uprising. It's where they just seed it in Southern California. It's coming out that they're talking that they seeded the clouds. So the clouds were seeded in January, and that's why they're having so much horrible rainfall and mudslides and everything, because they're fucked around with Mother Nature. Because this is unusual for them to have so much rainfall like they've been having. So now they found out that yeah, it's man-made. So a lot of people with insurance and stuff, having to go in and they have to make claims and stuff with the insurance. So there's this rarity of energy that's coming in, and Mercury's moving very fast. I think it's only going to be there for like 16 days in Pisces and then go into Aries, where he will retrograde. And I do have a workbook on that if you want a workbook. I also have my March workbook if you are looking into wanting to do any work through the energies as we go through March as well. But this is where, the moon is kind of giving us a sort of a chilling out. This isn't a day to make big decisions. This isn't a day to go out and say, I'm going to sign the hugest contract of my life or make drastic change, because you're not going to get the full clarity of the information that you are wanting right now. Yes, the energies are a little bit funky. And it's allowing ourselves to, and especially with, we have Mars squaring over to Jupiter, and this is, Mars in Aquarius brings in unpredictability, brings us uncertainty, brings us where, what are we doing? Where are we going? Is that the true direction that we need to go into? And then there's Jupiter in Taurus, and it's squaring over. So it's like wants to expand and understand our values, our systems, and the things, and how we work within our society and our groups. And it's and it just gets all confusing and muddled. And then with the moon in Libra, nobody makes a freaking decision when you're in Libra. Like, that just doesn't happen right away. So this could be, bringing up anger and oppressing something. This is a spiritual landmine. So this is where, you got to watch what you're doing, where you're going. This is where people can break an ankle, fall down, crack something, twist something. This is where this energy can get really weird and funky and stuff like that. And people can get injured because they're not paying attention. And it's to know your limits, to know, and how far you can push things. Because being a spiritual landmine, it is, yeah, you could just go into a hole that you don't want to go into. Driving extra cautiously today, uh, because it's kind of crazy out there, and it might look like the road is good, and then you hit black ice and skid out. So this is needing time to process and come to a light and understanding of, okay, I need to sort of take a step back, take a look at things, and have a clearer view of the direction I'd like to go into. And I may not see it all because it is the Four of Cups that's coming in for you today. That, I'm not, I'm only focused on this. I'm not really focused on what the divine is really wanting to bring in for me. So this is another time of, as I've been telling for the last couple of weeks, of surrendering. And as surrendering is not knowing, not putting the conditions on. It's like, I will surrender, Jesus or God or Allah or whomever, you know, I will do this if I can handle this as long as this doesn't happen. I can do this as long as this doesn't happen. Having those kind of conditions that you put on things, and it's just like you can't have the conditions. Don't be putting on the conditions because it's just going to come and I just got like flap you back in the face. So it's not, don't be putting on conditions on things because it can get very toxic. It can get very um the word over over just crazy. So it might, and this is where you might be like going down the river and there's rocks in the river and you go out and you bump up against a rock. It's push yourself away from it, get the oar and say, no, I'm not going that way, I'm going back this way. So there's a lot of different little bumps that are going to be coming up in along the way, and especially this week, because this week it's a build up. There's something building up to a change or an unexpected event that's going to be happening in around within the next few days. So that's where you're going to be feeling a little bit of oddness, a little bit of funkiness, not being able to ground, feeling a little bit odd. I don't like Sun, Mercury, Gazinis. Um, I just stay low with them and try to just sort of not do too much because I get crazy things that happen to me physically with those two coming together. And now it's in Pisces. It's just like, okay, I just need just take it easy, take a break, and not bombard myself or overburden myself with things or try and fix things I can't fix. That's the other part too. So if you're trying to fix things or you're trying to put your energy towards something that really, you know, you know that this is going to take too much of an effort for you at this time, just don't. That's my advice to people. Just don't try and push things too far out and make it crazy. And that's where we're at today. It's just one of those fucked up kind of crazy days and weeks. Um, w- what's happening this week? It could have to do with the financials because we're coming to the end of February. We're coming into a lot of financial year ends also, but I just feel like there's something else that could come in that's very uh, unexpected, and I'm going to say a little bit explosive. There's a lot of exploding coming up in the next little while. So it's just, that's why we just have to sort of just to be cautious and be aware of the directions that we are going into, and not burdening ourselves. There, I can say that, can I? Um, with everything. So, yeah, that's where we're at, people. With the craziness. So understand this is also, knowing our limits, understanding our values. What else did I write down here? Everything full, everything wants to go full speed. Everything is full speed. All the planets are full speed. Nothing is out of bounds. And that's the thing. There's nothing is out of bounds. Everything's full speed ahead. Nothing is in shadow that I can think of. So everything is just like full speed ahead. Like we're just humming along. But this is where it's sometimes when you are in that full speed ahead, that's where, a tree could fall, things could happen, crazy things can, happen. So hard to let go of some old beliefs, pushing through things, pushing through transformation, changes, things that may have come up for you over this full moon of what you need to let go of what of direction, or maybe you didn't get the full information, so you still need some time to process everything uh, as we are heading into a new direction. And yeah, I think that's it. Understanding time, take time to filter through. So I feel like I'm just in surrender and I'm happy to let go and understand things more. Exactly. That's where I'm at too, Candace. I'm just at like, I'm, yeah, I'm just like, all right, whatever, let it go. Um, I can't change whatever I was thinking I could change or manipulate or whatever, the course might be. It is just, allowing for things to settle within and flow with it, right? Lots of work on checking in with myself and balancing my energies. Definitely. I can feel that too. Um I think, especially for a lot of for I'm going to say a lot of us. I'm going to say for all of us, being light workers, it is challenging, a lot of and this energy that we're going through, we have not ever gone through this before. So this isn't like I can say, "Oh yeah, remember back in 1997 this and this and this," or go back to 2013, 2014, and things like this. No, I'm going to tell you to go back to 1778, and you guys are going like, "Yeah, I remember 1778." Like we haven't lived through this. This is new. This is revolutionary. This is change that our bodies are going through, and at a higher frequency than what they had in at that time also. So the frequency is even, the planetary alignments, and where there's some of them are very similar, or where they're at is very similar to the 17, I've got hair in my mouth, sorry, the 1780s and stuff like that. But the frequency is higher. So we're at a different frequency, even though there's some energy there, like where Pluto is coming up to at 1 degree, right? So the Pluto energy is new. We have never had that at 1 degree before. And then with the squares and alignments with Pluto and things like that, I mean, and then we're going through this photon belt, which we haven't done for 25,000 years. So we just add that into everything. And new ways of thinking, new ideas, new um products are coming in onto the market. I'm rewatching Downton Abbey because there's a new Downton Abbey that's going to be coming out. Anyways, I'm rewatching Downton Abbey. And there's one, and I think this is season 3. And Mrs. Carlson got a toaster, the new toaster. And it was just like, "Oh my god, I don't want to see that newfangled thing in here. Like, how dare you have this newfangled thing?" Just as you're watching it and you're seeing, and we laugh, ha ha ha. They're laughing at a toaster, right? An electric toaster. Um, and being a newfangled thing. Just think of the newfangled things that are coming in for us right now, like the AI, everything automated, the way that we are connecting with people. It's still fairly new. I mean, the iPhone came out in 2007, and now we think it's been around for like 50 years. It hasn't. It hasn't. You know, so we're adjusting still to this new frequency, this new energies that are coming forth for us all, that our bodies are trying to assimilate to, I guess, transform through. The other day when I was driving, and I get this every once in a while where I go through a time glitch. I'm not sure if anybody else has ever done that, where that it's like almost where I come into as I'm driving or something, I come into a period of, where I can sort of see things being created, yet they're already there. It's I call it a time glitch. And so I feel like we've just jumped into a timeline, a new timeline, and new time. I'm going to say a glitch that has come through. So that really takes a lot of um, a lot of our energies as well, right? It's a lot more wilder than, and then toaster. Yeah, I know. But if you go back to that time, think about it. Electricity was so new, right? Everything, I mean, the motor car, was so new, like to be in an automobile. Women were just getting the vote. Women were just getting the vote. And in England, women didn't have the vote unless they were over the age of 30 and a woman of is an established family or owned something. So if you were just a merchant, you weren't allowed to vote. You had no say yet. Only those with, with money could. So the timing and you know, the changes that were coming in, and that was just sort of in the 1700s was the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, coming up into the late 1800s, into the end of World War One. They're sort of still in that industrial revolutionary time, and now we're into a new industrial revolution of and especially with Aquarius, so it has to do with anything that is scientific, electronic, new formulas of inventions, right? Of new antibiotics, new um ways that we deal with things on frequencies and wavelengths because it's Aquarius. So we are being more innovative, more connected than ever. And and all of with all of that coming through, definitely, definitely. Shungite, it would be a really good crystal, or it's not a crystal, it's a mineral, to be using right now because shungite is very good with electronics and blocking off those positive ions that come through. So having shungite, you can even use shungite. Shungite is also, it's kind of like a charcoal, but they have used it in water filtration. So using shungite in water filtration as well. Um, Adding clear quartz into your water. If you have a Brita filter, adding some clear quartz or rose quartz into your water would definitely help you to really balance things out as well. You have to wonder about the amount of scams with AI. Oh, definitely. And the new technology. Oh, anything that comes in new, of course, there's going to be new scams. Voice recognition. The thing is what some families are starting to do is that they have, I guess, a family safe word that because your voice could be um, used. So let's say my son calls and it's not my son, but it sounds like my son, right? And or my daughter, and they're in trouble, and mommy, I need to, you need to send money. And it sounds, they use very much their the way that they talk and everything, because AI can really um copy that from somebody and then utilize that and then scam you out of money. So having a safe word with your family, that if you, when you're talking to them, and you say something where it's out of the blue, I got the word, okay, oh, oh, okay, well, calm down, remember that trip to Africa? Trigger, that's a safe word. And then they could say to you, oh yeah, mom, the elephant that I rode. Okay, that's your dog. Nobody would know that's your safe word except for you and your family. And you don't even have to basically say anything if you don't want to say anything, because of all the electronics and everything else. You could just write it down and pass it to each other with real paper and a pen and pass it around and have a safe word. So that you and your family know what that safe word is in case anything happens. Uh, because people are getting scammed. Technology is getting to a point where it is so good, especially with banking. So, and it's being able to call people and talk to them. Oh, Mrs. Kravitz, just making up words. I noticed that you've had a few withdrawals that seem, not normal, kind of thing. So they can, start talking to you, and they might know, well, I know that you're going through a hard time. Your husband just died. Maybe we can just help you out so you can feel more secure with your spending and with your money. Making sure you take the name down and say, thank you very much. I'm gonna get back to you in just a little bit. I'm busy or whatever you want, whatever excuse. You don't even have to make an excuse. You can hang up on them. And then call the number back on your card and say, "Hey, I just got a phone call from you guys, and it was this person. I got their name and everything else, and they'll let you know if that was a good person or not." You just have to be on your toes with a lot of the changes that are coming in, and because we all know about the scams with Facebook being hacked and Instagram being hacked. I mean, but they're getting a lot more sophisticated, you know, than that. So it's just, yeah, definitely being aware of what's going on. Couple of people that I clients that I have, what they have done, especially if they go traveling, because they travel a lot abroad, is that every time they use their credit card, doesn't matter, they get an automatic text message. Oh, you just spent it's $2 at Cuporama or whatever it is. And you're like, okay, so it's going to tell you even if it's 17 cents, they're going to tell you every time that you've spent money on your holiday, so that just in case something happens with your card, or somebody that you went to a place and then maybe they had a double scamming system on their debit and they've gotten your information and then they start spending, and you'll automatically know, no, I didn't go to Yves Saint Laurent and spend $2,000 on that bag. That's not me, so that they would automatically put a stop on that for you. So there's a lot of things that, for our own selves, that we really have to be aware of. And I mean, that's all part of a lot of the changes that are coming through, that are happening at this time. Even for people who have those doorbells, a lot of the I mean, they are funny when you start seeing, drunk people coming home from going out with their friends, and they can't get their keys in the door. And we just, we love to have those TikToks. We think they're funny. But even them, where does, someone who's keeping all that information, also that surveillance information as well. So we just have to be, all of that is exhausting, but we have to keep aware of it as well. So it's one of those craziness that's happening in our world right now. And yeah, we're feeling overwhelmed and bombarded by it all. And so we really have to allow ourselves to take some time and take a, I don't know, I'm going to say take a chill pill. That's my favorite saying, is taking a chill pill and allowing ourselves just to take some breathing time so that we're not so overwhelmed by everything, because it is a very overwhelming and exhausting time for us all. So, on that note, I'm going to send you guys off with so much love, and just easy does it right now, and allow for what's going on, and have a good cup of coffee, and put on a good movie. That's my advice today. Coffee and a movie. There you go. All right. So have a great one, and may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless you all. And if you are wanting to book in, I do have bookings starting in March. So if you're wanting to do any bookings, or if you want, if you know anybody who needs a reading, definitely get a hold of me. So have a blessed one, everybody, and we will talk to you tomorrow. All righty. Talk to you later.